You've been thinking about selling, but turning on the news and hearing about interest rates and a shifting market. You ask your neighbor, and they have a totally different opinion. It's enough to make your head spin and wonder, is right now the absolute worst time to sell my house? Let's cut through the noise and talk about the real signs that it might be a bad time to sell your home here in northern Utah. Deciding when to sell is about two things: what the market is doing and what you are doing. Let's talk about the market first. Let's talk about rising interest rates. When rates go up, buyers' monthly payments also go up, which shrinks their purchasing power. Think of it as a buyer who could afford a $500,000 house 2 years ago and might only be able to afford a $450,000 house today. This can cool down buyer demand across the board. Cooler buyer demand means prices may have to go a little lower to get a home to sell a little sooner rather than later. And if it is listed too high, it will sit on the market for a long period of time and potentially not sell in the time frame that you might need it to. This is also part of why good pricing is so important. The second market sign is climbing inventory. If you notice that tons of for sale signs are popping up in your neighborhood, staying there for a while, that's a key indicator. When there are more homes for sale than there are active buyers, it becomes a buyer's market, which means it's not such a good market for sellers. It's like a bake sale. If you're the only one selling chocolate chip cookies, you can kind of set your price if you're reasonable. If there are, say, 10 other people selling the exact same cookie or the exact same home or a home close enough, you have to compete. So that's something to keep in mind. Now let's get personal. Sometimes the market is fine, but it's a bad time to sell for you. The first personal sign is that the math just doesn't add up. You need to have enough equity in your home to pay off your current mortgage, cover all of the closing costs and agent commissions, and ideally have enough left over for a down payment on your next place. If selling your home would leave you with little to no cash, or even worse, owing money, it's a clear sign to wait and build more equity. Knowing the cost to sell is just as important as knowing how much to list the home for. Your agent should be able to provide you with a net sheet that would outline the expected expenses. Finally, the most important sign is you just aren't ready. Is your house in need of major repairs that you can't afford to make? Does the thought of packing up your entire life right now make you want to hide under the bed? Selling is a huge life event. If you're feeling overly emotional about leaving, or if you don't have a clear plan for where you'll go next, it is perfectly okay to pause. A forced move is never a good move. I always say the right house at the right time, and that's what I stick with. And I'm going to throw in a bonus fifth sign: seasonality. In markets like northern Utah with a variable climate, supply and demand can fluctuate dramatically, which in turn makes the market also fluctuate. Typically, the best time to sell for speed and higher pricing is in the spring. Summer tends to be a little finicky with holidays and people going out of town to camp and ride side-by-sides, but occasionally some killer weekends do pop up. And then fall and winter demand tends to drop off a little bit. But like interest rates, timing the market is extremely difficult, especially because the indicators are lag measures, which means that you don't know you've hit the peak or the valley until the trend starts to curve the other way, which means it's too late. So I wouldn't get too hung up on seasonality. Just make sure that you understand the median days on market so you know what to expect and when to list for when you need to move. And to also price your home correctly to sell within that timeline, and you will see success. With that, if you've made it this far into my video and are considering selling your home, click the link in the description to get a free home seller's guide. That includes checklists for getting your home ready to go, get it ready for the market, and staging, and a bunch of other fun stuff. So take a peek at that. A few quick disclaimers. My name is Jessie Tolman. I'm with the Key Utah Realtors, powered by KW Success, Keller Williams Realty. I'm reading off of a teleprompter. Anyone who knows me and knows my tangents will tell you that this is a fantastic idea, because otherwise we'd be here literally all day. And I would love to be your Northern Utah Realtor. Holler if you want to chat. My contact info is down in the description below.